Hey everybody, Mike Iaconelli here. Welcome to a brand new In the Shop. Today, we're on the lake and we're gonna be talking about a really hot new swim bait. It's got a lot of buzz lately. We're gonna tell you everything you need to know about the brand new Berkley power bait, Cull Shad. If you've been watching the tournament scene the last few months, you see a lot of guys fishing these big swim baits, having great tournaments, winning a lot of big fish, and it's a really unique swim bait. So this shop's all about the Berkley Cull Shad. All right, let me start with the basics, guys. Two sizes of this new Cull Shad, two sizes. We've got a 6-inch. 6-inch is gonna be great when your forage is a little smaller. Herring lakes, small shad lakes, yellow perch, immature yellow perch lakes, little small golden shiner. 6-inch is going to be a great imitation size. And then we've got the Big Mama. This is the 8-inch Berkley power bait Cull Shad. And guys, I know it looks big, but listen to me. This is going to be really, really good when you're feeding a big forage, right? A gizzard shad, really big adult herring, big golden shiner, trout, hitch, tilapia, species that are really big. It's going to do a great job of imitating those. So two sizes, 12 colors, which is really cool. Some of the 12 are HD patterns, and if you look at that one, that's a shad pattern. It looks exactly like a shad. It's an HD printing process on that bait. And a few of the colors are standard colors. This is that lemon shad, beautiful standard color. So 12 colors to choose from. All right, let me get into the nitty gritty on this thing. And I've heard a lot of people saying, oh, it's a copy bait. It's a Me Too bait. Guys, it's not a Me Too bait. A lot of unique things about this Cull Shad that make it different, that make it a little better than some of the other swim baits out there that are like this in this category. So let's start with the tail. Of course, we've got a really nice molded boot tail on that one. And the great thing about this boot tail, look how broad it is. And that broad boot tail is really going to pick up a lot of water and give you your movement. Okay, so a big, broad a boot tail on it. But a boot tail is no good without the right tail section to allow it to move, right? You could have the biggest boot in the world, and if you have stiff plastic in the back, it's not going to move. So this is where this Cull Shad really comes into play. And guys, I want you to look at that. We have a honeycomb design tail on these Cull Shads, on the 6 and 8-inch. And if you're already fishing the Berkley Power Bait Power Stinger as a chatterbait trailer, vibrating jig trailer, you know about that honeycomb. So the two things that honeycomb tail it's going to do, one is it's very flexible. So look at that, right? Because there's less plastic there, it's cut out, it's honeycombed, it allows more flexibility. So more action, and when that fish bites it, watch, it collapses, right? There's no stiff plastic in the back. A lot of them other ones have stiff plastic. This is honeycomb, so extra action, collapsibility. But remember honeycomb. Think about a honeycomb design. Think about a bee's nest, a wasp nest, right? They're super strong. That honeycomb design cuts out plastic, but adds strength, right? All those little bridges add strength. So very flexible, a lot of movement, but strong, right? You're not going to break those tails off. All right, let's get to the body. I want to get to the hook harness. This is really a key feature of this Cull Shad, guys. It has a pre-rigged hook harness. And if you look at this thing, it's got a little inline piece in the body. It comes off of the throat, and then we've got 2 split rings, a barrel swivel, and a treble hook. And on a lot of these baits, that thing just floats around. And some of them, you have to jam it up in the body. But on this hook system, look at that little clip right there. We've got a little patented clip system that is going to keep this hook in the body, okay? So let me just show it to you. Okay, here it goes out. It's like a little U-shaped clip. You can hear it. Watch this, you ready? You might even hear it on this mic. You hear that little snap? It clicks in, and then when it clicks in, we've got a hook slot that goes into the body, it hides. So here's the deal with this hook system. This is what makes this awesome. I can skip this bait. I can roll cast this bait. I can bomb it in clean water to make those long bomb burn casts, and that hook's gonna stay in the body. But, you ready? When that fish bites it, oh, and you set the hook, boom, it pops out. It gets the heavy weight of that body away from the fish. So when that fish is jumping, he has less leverage to throw the hook. We land the fish, we put it in a live well, and look how easy it is, guys. Ready? We go back, you hear that little snap again, here it goes. You heard it in the body, and we're ready to go again. The really, really innovative hook system on this Cull Shad, different than a lot of other baits. All right, next thing I want to show you, and by the way, as soon as I'm done showing you all this stuff, I'm going to talk a little bit about the rod and reel, and then we're going to go fishing, and I'm going to show you 3 different ways to fish the Cull Shad. If you look at the body, and you might be able to see it better on the big one, let me see. You can see it about the same. If you look on the belly of these baits, we have 3 holes or dimples in the plastic. One right above the clip, one right about in the middle of the belly between the hook hanger and the clip, and then one at the nose. And guys, these are not random little dots on the Cull Shad. These are bullseyes or targets for our nail weights, okay? And you're going to be able to use whatever your favorite nail weight is. I like a 16th or a 32nd. I like a lot. And what we're going to do is we're basically going to add these nail weights to change the depth and the action of the bait. So my favorite positioning, guys, on this one, if you look at it, I really like that middle one because it keeps it horizontal. But all we're going to do is, you see that little dot? It's like a bullseye. Now we know right where to rig it. I go straight down in center, and there it goes. And now I've taken a bait that is a slow sink bait, and I've added weight to it, and it's going to sink a little faster. So without the weight, 0 to 10, no problem. 1 weight, 10 to 15. 2 weights, 15 to 20. 3 weights, right? You get the point. You can keep adding weights to change the depth of this bait and the action a little bit. So it's got that nose hole, and we could actually get this bait to nose down a little bit. And in dying shad situations, cold water, really hot water, we want it nose down, we could add a weight to the nose to get it to sink nose down. Really cool system on weighting. The other great thing about that is when I want to change depths or I'm ready to do something else, I can just grab the weight. Ready? Look at this. Grab the weight, pull it out, and now I'm back to that standard bait, 0 to 10 feet, no problem. All right, so cool weighting system. Last 2 things on this, guys. The eyes, it was a must. All the pros had great feedback on this bait, saying big eyes, big eyes, big eyes. And you notice those big oversized eyes. That's like a kill point for these baits. When the bass see the eyes, they go for the head. They're headshotting these baits, so it's a kill point. Last but not least, I want to show you that line tie, guys, and it's an inline line tie that is integrated into the nose of the bait. So on some of these swim baits, you see the line tie stick really far out, or it comes off the head, or it's got a separate piece. That, to me, I don't want anything else catching grass or weeds or slime or limbs. And it's integrated, it's inline, and it helps that bait run true. So there it goes, guys. Brand new Cull Shad by Berkley Power Bait. Pretty amazing, 6 and 8 inch. Okay, let me get to the rods, and I'm gonna keep it real simple on rods and reels, and then let's get out there, and I'm gonna show you a couple of the techniques to fish this bait. Basically, guys, we're gonna fish these baits on the same rods you're already fishing your swim baits on, okay? Here's my deal, and this, again, whatever rod you're already fishing a swim bait on, it works. But here's my deal. On the 6 inch, I like a 7.3 medium heavy. You don't need to overpower this 6-inch. It's not that big. So 7.3 medium heavy, perfect rod to throw this on a reel, just a low profile reel that has a moderate to fast ratio. 7:1 to 8:1, 8:3, something in that range. I don't want too slow. I don't want too fast. So moderate to high speed, low profile reel, 7.3 medium heavy. And then on the big one, all I do is go up 3 inches, guys. This is the 7.6 medium heavy. Little bit bigger bait. I need a little bit more rod length to cast it, but it's still a medium heavy, right? 7.6 medium heavy, still the low profile reel in a moderate to fast retrieve. And just let me give you real quick why I'm here. Why that medium heavy is so important. Whatever brand you're using, you don't want this rod tip to be stiff, and you don't want it to be whippy like a crankbait. I want a little tip there. Look at that, right? About 20% of the rod, maybe 25% of the rod has tip, and all the rest of the rod is backbone. That is exactly what you want in a swim bait rod. So on the big Cull Shad, 7.6 medium heavy, moderate to fast reel. Last but not least, guys, line for the Cull Shad. Line for the Cull Shad. I'm going to give you the old 80-20 ratio. And it's real simple. And it goes like this. You ready for this? 80% of the time, I'm fishing the Cull Shad, or any swim bait like that, in fact. 80% of the time, fishing on straight fluorocarbon, okay? 15 to 25 pound test fluorocarbon. I really like the 15 and 17 for the 6-inch. I like the 20 and 25 for the big 8-inch. But straight fluorocarbon, because fluorocarbon is dense, fluorocarbon sinks, and what that means with this bait is a better swimming action, okay? 80% of the time, straight fluoro. Now the other 20, you know, there's times when, man, if you're fishing cover that's so thick and nasty, and it's standing timber and trees and logs, I'll go to braid to a short fluorocarbon leader, okay? So 80% of the time, straight fluorocarbon, if I can get away with it. Ultra, ultra nasty, thick, heavy cover, braid to like a short fluorocarbon leader, like 18 to 24 inch fluorocarbon leader, okay? So 80-20 mix on line. All right, guys, enough of the talking. Let's get out there, and I'm gonna show you 3 unique ways to fish that brand new Cull Shad, and you're gonna catch some big bass. All right, guys, this is the brand new Berkley Powerbait Cull Shad. It's awesome. Man, there's a lot of ways that you can fish this bait, but I want to show you my top 3 ways to fish it and give you maybe just a little idea of when I would fish it that way. Let's start with the most basic. You know, this is a boot tail style swim bait, and the key to this bait is the action, right? We talked about that boot tail and that honeycomb, and that's what lets that tail sway. So my number 1 way to fish it, you ready for this? It's just chunk and wind, steady cranking is what I call it. And it's really a lot like you would fish your other swim baits, or maybe the same way you would like fish a spinner bait. Just a slow and steady crank, right? A slow and steady wind. The one difference I'm going to do when I'm fishing it this way is I'm going to throw in pauses. And you know, if you could think about the way that bait moves, it's going to have that very rhythmic, the body almost twist, and that boot tail kicks, and it's like just steady, boom, boom, boom. And a lot of those fish that are drawn to it, watch it, watch it, watch it. And if you throw in a pause, it just changes the direction and it goes down a second, and then you pick it back up. That's like a trigger, right? So those little pauses are key. So first retrieve, slow and steady, couple little pauses in it. You know, nothing crazy, guys, right? So, you know, just gonna make your basic cast. And if you watch it, I would really call it like a medium retrieve. And then about every 10 cranks, I throw in a pause and I pick it back up. And as it gets closer, you're gonna be able to watch it when I throw in a pause and then I pick it back up. And it just kind of wanders off, ready? Throw in a pause and I pick it back up. And that one little motion of it just kicking back up is a trigger a lot. So first retrieve, guys, slow and steady, just the chunk and wind, medium retrieve. That one is great for normal water clarity, stained water clarity. That one is the deal. It's also the deal in what I would call, you know, shallow to moderate depths, right? Shallow to moderate depths, that's a great retrieve. All right, the next one is a technique that's unbelievable for ultra clear water. A lot of you guys watching fish clean water, fish clear water, and this technique is going to trigger the bass to bite through speed. And my second way I'm going to fish it is called burning. And I'm going to burn that cull shad. Here's one of the great things about this swim bait versus some of the other ones, is that it does not blow out. It does not blow out. In fact, stay right there. In fact, a lot of times in this technique, guys, all I'm going to do is add that little nail weight. You heard me talking about the 3 holes. I like to go to that middle hole. It's like a bullseye. I'm going to put that weight straight in and then just reattach my hook. That's just going to help keep that bait down just a little when I burn it, okay? So the burning technique, very self-explanatory. It's a lot like burning a spinnerbait. Rod's going to be high, reel's going to be faster, but the same thing, when I'm burning it, I'm going to throw pauses into it. So this one, very similar, with a higher rod and a faster reel. It almost wakes it. And if you can see that bait, it's burning, it's staying straight. I stop it. Look at it, staying straight. Stop it. Stop it. And it just keeps it right under the surface. And a lot of times, if I see that bait starting to breach the surface, that's when I kill it. So it's burning, it's coming just under the surface, and the minute it starts breaching, I kill it, it pauses, and then it burns again. Guys, great technique for really clear water, for triggering fish to bite. It's great from shallow, moderate, and even deep. I've seen fish in 20 foot of water come up and get this bait when you're burning it. All right, last one, guys, and this one, you could even add more belly weights for this one. You see me put one in. If I'm fishing really deep with this one, let's call it 15, 20 feet or deeper, I'll add 3 nails to help get it down. But the last one is the slow rolling technique. And the slow rolling technique is great in deep water. It's also great in water that's more stained or dirtier, because you need to leave time for those fish to find the bait in dirtier, stained water. Swim baits like this work in dirty water. You just got to use a slow retrieve. So the last one is a slow roll. Now I really want you to, I'm going to throw it out there, but I want you to look at the bait. The bait action actually changes a little bit on this last technique, and it goes a little bit more left to right as you slow your retrieve. So same thing, here it goes, guys. We're going to make that long cast out there, but this time we're going to keep our rod low, and we're going to just barely reel it. Now, I want you to watch this bait. It's going to rock a little more left and right. Look at it. Look, left, right, left, right. Throw my pauses in. Left, right. Look at it. Just a little more left, right when you slow roll it. There it goes. Look at that. Look at that left, right. Almost walking. And that's a great technique when you're fishing it deep or when you're fishing it shallow in dirty, stained water. Okay, so crank, steady chunk and wind, medium retrieve, burn, rod high, fast reel retrieve, great for clear water, slow roll, rod tip down, barely cranking that reel handle. Don't forget your pauses, and all 3 of those, that's going to make that bait change direction. It's going to trigger a lot of bites. One last thing, guys, is this thing is meant to be thrown around the same stuff you're already throwing it. Don't get caught in the trap of only throwing this thing in open water. If you're fishing logs, throw it past the log. If you're fishing docks, skip it under docks. If you're fishing lily pads, fish it on lily pad edges. It's a great bait. It's really going to trigger a lot of bites. Some of those design features make it come alive and it looks real. So there's your first look at the brand new Berkley Power Bait Cull Shad. It's awesome. I hope you like this video, man. If you like what you're watching, if you like what you're seeing, stop right now. Do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. Subscribe to my channel. If you're already a subscriber, man, help me spread the word. Please, tell your friends, tell your buddies, tell people at the tournament, at the ramp. Tell them about Mike Iaconelli Fishing YouTube. We're here to educate and hopefully help you become a better angler. All right, enough talking. I'm gonna go do a little fishing. If I happen to catch one, we'll throw it in a video. If not, bye. You know, the thing is, you gotta fish this bait the same places you're gonna fish a spinnerbait. It's not like, you know, you can't be afraid to fish it. So like that cast right there is a great example. Like that hook hanger that I showed you guys, it allows you to skip this bait. So I'll do that cast again, but watch this tree right here in front of me. That's the 6-inch, right? Watch this. Look at that. Like it actually skips, you know? And a lot of them other brands, that hook is all over the place. But this one, ready? Watch this. You saw that skip. Still in the body, right? But they're the places you need to fish this bait. Like, I'm not fishing this bait in open water. I mean, I am if they're out there, but I'm fishing it where I think the fish live. And you can't be afraid to throw it around cover, you know? So I'm just dissecting this like I would with a chatterbait or with a spinnerbait. Here's some pads. You know, these are thin pads, right? So I'm just using that medium crank retrieve that we talked about. And you see me throwing in those pauses, guys. That's so key. I honestly would tell you, oh, there's a bluegill, right? I just saw a bluegill, so this is a good imitation of bluegill. Honestly, I would say 70% of my bites come when I do that little pause, guys. And all it's doing is making that bait change direction, right? So stay conscious of that. But, you know, lily pad point, I mean, nothing different than you would do with a spinnerbait or a chatterbait or something like that. Same stuff, guys. Oh, got him. Big one, Cull Shad. There's the slow and steady, guys. Whoa. Listen, give this bait a try. This is the brand new Cull Shad by Berkley. Dude, it's the real deal. Great example of the bites you get with this thing. You know, just using 3 retrieves. Burn, slow roll, and that steady crank with the pauses. If you saw that one, I cast in the middle of this lily pad set. I'm reeling, I paused it. As soon as I picked it back up, he ate it. And look where the hook is at, okay? Look at the hook position. That's how they eat this bait. They headshot it. Remember those big eyes. One last thing. Remember I said that clip keeps the hook when you're fishing, but when you land them, look, the hook's pulled away. He couldn't use the leverage, and I caught a bass. I hope you enjoyed this shot, baby. Yeah! Look at that. I mean, just casting in lanes. Just exactly like I would have, I mean, if I was fishing a chatterbait or a spinnerbait, it'd be the same cast. Just letting that swim bait do the work. Right here, a little more thinned out pads. I don't think they can spawn in those ones that are super thick. So these thin ones are just giving them the base. Wow. I don't know. I'll take that one though. There you go. Big one. Giant. Oh my God. On the Cull Shad. Go on. It's gone, guys. It's gone. A big one. It's a big one. The Cull Shad's gone, guys. Cull Shad's gone, guys. You think they like that Berkley Cull Shad? You think they like that Berkley Cull Shad? In his throat. That's a big one, dude. That's a big female. That was a great one, guys. I love doing these in the shops on the water because I can really show you what I'm talking about. And you heard me talking about that steady wind with the pause. I threw it in the lane of those pads. Steady wind, pause, steady wind, pause. And when I paused it, you can imagine that fish was looking at it, trailing it, and came up and sucked it in. And that's what they do to the Berkley Powerbait Cull Shad. That's no joke, guys. Proof is in the pudding. Hey everybody, Mike Iaconelli. I hope you enjoyed this week's In the Shop. I hope you learned a little bit. And if you like these videos, remember, there's a whole boatload. Check out these two, and you're gonna learn more about bass fishing.